Oh, you doing okay?
Yeah, man. What on you? What up, y'all?
Welcome
To the J&O Show.
where we talk about.
Today we are back with 2K once again. Give them a hand clap. Yo. We're gonna get that in the background. Today we are gonna have a free-flowing conversation, but we will start with this TikTok that I found. It's people like her that make our job very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Oh boy, I didn't see this, y'all. So
for 10 years, I'm choosing divorce. Firstly, hi, my name's Aaliyah. I have 2 boys and I was months away from 10 whole years of marriage. I do want to briefly say, I started social media 2.5 years ago, accidentally, and people are like, no, nothing's accidental. No, it isn't. I posted it to my friends, it went viral, I chose to run with it, okay? Since then, I've shared lots of things with you guys. You've even seen me grow my family on the internet with my last baby, Jedi. So now social media is a career. When choosing to walk away from my marriage, I constantly wrestled with the idea of how am I going to share it? Will I share it at all? Will I do the thing where no one talks about it and then just moves on and deletes every comment that suggests otherwise? Do I just stay silent? Or do I just own it? And although I've shared many things across the years, I have made it absolutely known that this will be nothing more than authentic. I won't do anything that isn't true or factual. So although I'll get ready with you, I'll share a good OOTD, I'm really sharing my life, my honest truth, my reality. And I just had a feeling that the world would behave the way it behaved when a woman said, no, I don't want this anymore. Because apparently, as women, we can't say that. We shouldn't say that. If we're not being or beaten, stay there. Doesn't matter how you feel, stay there. That is the way that society thinks. And I just hate that. So I've chosen to share it and empower anyone else who feels like me. But also, let's make it a norm. I'm not normalising divorce. I'm normalising choosing yourself and your happiness over a marriage just because marriage is okay in society. Like,
okay, I gotta hit pause.
Yeah, that was the part we really needed. That's the part we really needed.
Yeah. So it's like, look, I understand. I'm trying to be here for my women folk represent. At the same time, out of love, I gotta check y'all because we can't continue to sit down and act like we don't choose wrong. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but hey, it's the truth. Oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes when a woman and a man, they get married or what have you, and all of a sudden this person, they're no longer who they thought they were, or like I don't understand, like how are you like this? There were signs before you said yes, but you chose to ignore them. And it's just like, you can't go and be like, oh, well, everybody, the world is going to come down on me because I'm saying no. You should have said no before you said I do, is the point. And I think that's the conversation that we need to have. Like, we need to do better with one, our vetting crew, making sure that we have a good vetting crew before we say I do. But 2, being real with ourselves with the guy that like we're with. Like, don't just marry somebody because they say I love you or because it's something you're comfortable with or you know the person. Like, people change. We all change. Like the individual, the woman, she changes as well. Nobody is going to stay the same like 100%. They're not going to be from now until Jesus comes. They ain't going to be the same person. Like, you're going to grow, or at least you should be growing. Like, you're not going to stay exactly the same. And it's just like, what does the whole vow of better or worse mean to you if you are just ready to cut and run as soon as things get hard? Now, we've talked about this before on the channel. Like, there was a point where things got really rough between us, and we were just like, for real, and it was kind of like, is this what divorce feels like when you're contemplating that, basically, like when that, like, are we even thinking like going down that road or what have you? But there has to be something bigger than yourself that makes you be like, you know what? No, like back in the day, we used to say your word is bond because your word was your bond. So if you make a vow to somebody, it's like, where's that at?
So I'm gonna have to give you a little pushback, okay? Because the whole vetting thing is null and void because something else you said.
What's that?
People change. So no matter who sat down and vetted this person, and they vetted the person that that person was.
Mhm.
And we can't predict the change. But like you said, my word is bond.
Right.
And if you Christian folk, you taking a vow, to God.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like to think the mindset that she have is of a selfish person. It's selfish when you get to value your happiness over it's I always say this here, and I get a lot of flack every time I say it. Don't tell me that you would die for your kids, but you won't stay with the baby father for your kids. Because the moment you decide to choose happiness over the baby's father, you are letting the child know that you are putting him at a significant disadvantage at life. So that is, to me, that's a selfish decision, because if you walk around like men, we talk to men a little different when y'all ain't around.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately.
I never understood, like, when I be out with my family, an older man, he'll come up to me, squeeze me on my shoulder, like, hey man, you got a beautiful family. Mm-hmm. And now I know what it means. Mm-hmm. It means, hey bro, I know it's hard work. Mm-hmm. I know she might get a little crazy, but keep it up. It's worth it for your family. Mm-hmm. That's what the squeeze of the shoulder from an older gentleman mean to me. And it's a sense of duty for us. I don't think women have that sense of duty to the relationship like a man, because we'll go through torture, and we probably don't even need love. Just give us a little respect. Mm-hmm. And we'll look for so many reasons to take the bare minimum to stay in this relationship. And I just think that women value happiness, a temporary feeling that goes and that comes, over family the majority of the time in this age.
Yeah.
In this age.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say that. I think, especially here in these states, I think that's definitely the case. And the reason why I'm going back to what you said about the vetting crew thing, yes, people do change, but there are certain foundational things that the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with should have. And that's why I think that, not saying it's foolproof, obviously, because nothing is, but you do have a better chance of longevity if you had, disclaimer, your vetting crew can't be a whole bunch of like hood people. I'm sorry. Like they gotta be people of some type of caliber, substance, people who have a good head on their shoulders. Hopefully you gotta have some people in there who are married, who's been, married for a long time, so that they can look at the person and be like, yeah, okay, they're marriage minded or marriage material at least.
But see, I know some, like, I hate when I hear men tell women, well, you should have picked better, because I know some men that are ultimate chameleon. Like, they know how to adjust and taper that they self into exactly what that woman want. Okay. Now, his plan on how long this go on, that what make it diabolical or not, because he can say, I'm for to turn myself into this man for this woman forever and try to be the best version of it. Or he can say, hey, when I get the nookie, I'm breaking character. And me was kind of one of them people, because I was a diehard Christian. Okay. When it came to my wife, because I knew she loved God. We went to Bible study. Yeah, every was it Wednesday? Every Wednesday we went to Bible study. Get out, boy. Get out. Every Wednesday we went to Bible study. And once I had secured her, I felt better about shedding it, because she knew the person who I was. Okay. So I was kind of being deceptive, but I didn't have ill intentions with her. Now, some people, they gonna break character after they get exactly what they want from her.
True.
Yeah.
But I had to write something down so I wouldn't forget. I was gonna say, but so let me ask you this: as a guy, would you say that you are able to recognize guys like that? Can you see that in other guys? Can you kind of sense when guys are like chameleons or?
I got a better feel for it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so this is why I'm saying a vetting crew is important, because you do need in your vetting crew, hopefully you have men and women. It's not just all women or all men, because
Right.
I think it's important for you to have males to be able to look at the guy that you're considering marrying, especially if you don't have a father or an older brother in your life or something like that. Because I do think I do think that's very true. I think game recognize game. So
Absolutely. But
yeah.
if you're not the dominant figure in the household, all I have to do is persuade a mom and the rest to follow. And see, a lot of that, first of all, it's not a lot of men in these houses where these situations even happen at anyway. You gonna meet with mom. And then you might meet with a couple aunties or you might meet an uncle, but he not a problem because I'm talking to the head of her head, which is the mother.
Okay.
I have did the work to make sure everybody else's opinion don't matter. And say this is the deceptiveness of men that you probably ain't aware of. I know once I got mama, every other dude, including her daddy, if he ain't directly the head of the household, I can get the persuasion from the mama endorsement.
Dang, have things gotten so bad that we've completely destroyed the effectiveness of the vetting crew? Because in our community, 70% of us is not living in the home with both the mama and daddy, the biological mom and dad.
And that be the reason for easy breakdowns, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the reason. Like it, I know some master manipulators. If they get the mama, if the dad is not a strong, he could be in the household, but if he not the strong authoritarian figure, what the mother say is usually what he goes with. So that makes his role as a father
true.
It's small. No matter what flaw he see in him, he still got to convince the mother of that.
That's crazy.
But I do get it. In traditional sense, the vetting process is important and it should be ran through the man, because I got to give you my daughter to do what I've been doing for her my whole life.
Right.
So I'm for the really sit down with you and have a talk.
Right.
But if that ain't prevalent, it's definitely for to be some trouble.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, is there any saving modern relationships then? Like, because I'm like,
absolutely, and I think that move just got put in place. Okay. So this might sound crazy, and I don't know. I'm not no big political guy at all. Okay, I don't know if I'm a Democrat or Republican. I'm neither, but I couldn't tell you the difference because to me they both the same.
Okay.
So Trump, I seen him propose a bill that immediately effective, do away with welfare on a federal level. So the states will have to pick it up.
Okay.
For so long, that program has incentivized, I'm gonna just say women because that's who been the beneficiary of it. That program has incentivized women to leave men. Wow. But if you know now that you leaving him and you won't have assistance and the support, you won't think so fast to be leaving him. How long? Is this something we can work out? Is this something that we can get over? And then them conversations gonna start being real. Because a lot of us leave because we got the option to.
True.
And that's just human nature. So if you take away that option of a soft fall, then these hard conversations are going to start being more common. And we're gonna start seeing that family unit get back with each other. Yeah, but right now we just being incentivized for leaving. Yeah.
Now, I think you know what I think is going to happen. I think a lot of women, because you're thinking about the people that are on welfare, right? I think a lot of women are just going to really crack down on child support.
It won't be enough
to incentivize. You don't think it'll be enough to cover what they're losing with welfare?
No. Welfare do a lot.
That's housing, that's food.
groceries, sometimes cash, Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Uncle Sam has been the daddy.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh. That's crazy. So I wanted to go back to something that you said before. You said men will sometimes, they'll stay in a marriage. And one of the main things that you have to give them is respect. Now, we say this on our channel often, right? This is one of them biblical precepts that I feel it supersedes whether you're a Christian or not. Like there are certain things that the Bible has in it that's just good practical wisdom. I think it's a lot, to be honest. And that's one of them. And in the Bible, it says that men, you should love your wives. And it says women, respect your husbands. And it sort of sets up for you what it is each individual in that marriage really needs to make them feel fulfilled in the marriage. Like the woman got to feel like you love her. Now that becomes difficult when you get a woman who's expecting you to make X amount of money and they're also expecting to have X amount of time. And usually you don't make X amount of money and have X amount of time. Usually.
It's one or the other.
It's usually one or the other.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing. I just wanted to put that out there just to sort of touch on that, because I always like to reiterate certain things about relationships in general. Men really will, like, the most important thing to them is respect. But I think that's why a lot of dudes just be looking beat down and just worn out because they don't have no respect in their own household.
But that's fine. I'm cool with looking beat down. I'm cool with looking worn out. Because you know what? I can go right down the hall and say hey to my daughter. I feel like that's a sacrifice and a hill worth dying on. To know that I kept my family in-house.
Wow. That's great.
One of the biggest and most underrated values of being a parent that we don't talk about enough because it sounds crazy is to make sure our children don't get molested. And who we know so many people who did not make it, and they can say that. I know it sounds wrong, but like I really judge my childhood, my fatherhood, on making sure my children don't get molested. They got a fair chance.
Right.
And if I got to look beat down and toe up and sometimes, demoralized, I feel like those are sacrifices as a man that I make over and over and over again, because that's lifelong trauma that most people do not recover from.
That's very true.
Yeah. And like I said, when we mad and we sad, once again, I put that in the category as temporary emotion.
True.
So it come with it. It come with it. These women they hard for a reason. The harder that woman is, probably the most she worth it. So you'll know in my experience, because my girl, she give me a hard time, but I'm a hard time as well. So I feel like I'm worth it. I feel like she worth it. We're gonna try. We're gonna always fight for each other, and that's what's been keeping us solid, because I'd have made my mistakes. And man, like just her being a strong woman and just recognizing that and still giving me leniency and still trying with me has made me want to be even better for her. Yeah. So shout out to women and they forgiving hearts, man, because without that, it can get ugly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. But you have a great mindset to have a long marriage.
Absolutely.
As long as you and your wife are on the same page when it comes to that level of commitment, bro, y'all ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. They gotta be resistant. Like, bro, we done been through it. Like, it's crazy because I met my wife when I was 22. And it don't seem young, but it's young.
It is.
To try to like be with one person, like in your heyday, like 22, my 20s, I'm supposed to be going crazy, like out partying every night, and I'm trying to cultivate a relationship. And now I'm 35, I'm looking back on it and say, how crazy was I to even be attempting this? Like it's crazy. I was attempting to be with one person for the remainder of my life when my life was just being started.
Mm-hmm.
So along that path, of course, we was gonna bump our head. We just in the moment didn't know we was attempting almost the impossible.
Right.
Especially in this day and age when we have access to these social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, bro.
Our whole culture though is just
it's garbage. It's garbage right now.
Because we were talking about this a little while ago. I forgot what we were watching, something we were watching. And what you just said, like in your 20s, you're supposed to be going crazy and wilding out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Like in your 20s, like you're supposed to be working, basically building on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to be focusing on during that time. But our culture has our mind twisted that that's what we should be doing in our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
We should be going out there, you know what I'm saying, and doing whatever with whomever or whatever, because YOLO, you know, like that's what we're being trained in, that we're being taught. And it's really messing a lot of us up, because now we do that and we get to our 30s and it's just like, all right, well, now I want a family. And it's just like, but you didn't do anything to prepare yourself for that family.
Absolutely. And it's hard to be loyal to a woman. Like my girl gave me all of her 20s, right? Them was by different metrics. That's the prime of her life. That's like probably the best she'll ever be, all her 20s. So now that she's in her 30s and we in the 30s, I feel like I have a obligation and a duty, because now I feel like I'm for to reach my prime to let her enjoy that with me, like she let me enjoy her youth and her prime. So I feel like I supposed to give her the best version of me, just like she gave me her best version. I don't want her not to experience the best me.
Right.
But if I met you at 30 and you gave your best you to Pookie and Ray Ray, I'm not necessarily obligated to give you the best. It's more easier to chunk a deuce up, be like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. Because you didn't give me the best you. And that's how I really be feeling. But back to what you were saying, they did market the 20s like just go out and have fun.
Yeah.
They did not tell us what was on the other side of that.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all, man. My back will testify. My knee will testify. My elbow, bro, traps. Bro. Look, man, going to the gym is hard now. It's different. It's not the same. Even like working late nights, like that's part of the reason why you're supposed to rock hard in your 20s, because them late nights and stuff like that, when you get older, bro, see, dag, bro, I feel really old now because he just told me how old he is. I feel I'm really up there now. But like, bro, man, you 10, 12 years from now, bro, man, let me tell you something. I mean, you look back and you see how everything hurt. Like them late nights working now it's hard because your body feels it. Like if you ain't getting 8 hours, your body is gonna tell you.
Bro, I understand, bro. The value of a nap has went up 1,000% in my life. Like just a 30-minute nap. I'm telling you,
that boy.
What? Like me getting a nap is something I pay for if they sold it. I'm telling you, it's something serious, man.
Oh, snap. Man. Oh man. So I don't know. We talk a lot about modern relationships, and I think I know that I read a study. I looked at a study a while ago when they were talking about how in all of these first world countries, women are becoming more liberal and men are becoming more traditional. And this is across all of these first world countries. So a lot of people, when we talk about relationships and while women are complaining and men are complaining, they're usually talking in a small bubble without realization that in all of these first world countries where feminism thrived and took off, there's a huge gap in the morality or the ideals or the ideas that men have towards how marriage is supposed to go and how women think marriage is supposed to go.
Yeah.
So now you saying that the welfare thing might bring some of them back. That's going to be some of them.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of them folk? Because most people tend to be middle class.
Yeah.
What about the rest of them though?
They're gonna have to get used to that term. I don't know what singer this was, but she said these words right here. She said, "You either gonna be the woman or the other woman." I think they're gonna have to be getting real familiar with being the other woman.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, like, we as men and whole, I think we are almost fed up with this little experiment.
For sure.
Like, okay, y'all wanted to see what it felt like to have this much responsibility. Some women have digressed. Be like, you know what, this ain't it. But it's then you got other women who are doubling down on it.
Yep.
We men at a certain point, we just gonna be like, okay, if this is what you want, go for it. But I can't see how they got really tricked at this spot.
Yeah.
I can't see. And I'm a stay-at-home father now. I do understand how hard it is to like be raising kids full time.
Yeah.
But that's only a temporary thing in itself because they go to school for 8 hours out the day.
Right. Yep.
So it's like your job starts shrinking more and more the older they get. But I don't know, man. They gonna have to just get used to being the other woman, bro. And that's sad, but because you don't want to be a wife, but you do want a man because we do need each other. So you just gonna start taking half of a man or what you can get from a man while you be an independent woman. So I guess, but we men are very fed up with this mindset because man, we feel like we done did so much and then sacrifice so much so y'all can be on this level only for really women to kind of turn their back on us and what we did for them. It's like we like really, bro.
Yeah.
We did cars and bridges and phones and roads. We did that for y'all.
Yeah.
The houses, we did it for y'all.
Yep.
Now y'all talking about you make more like the job. We did it for y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of like we being stabbed in the back almost, but
yeah.
I
think that's why it's a lot of I think that's why a lot of guys are angry about it.
Yeah.
It's
as they should be, because if the shoe was on the other foot, women would feel the same way.
Yeah. It's two sides of it. It's the guys who feel stabbed in the back, like you said, and then there's another group of guys who are just sort of like, bro, I ain't had nothing to do with that. Like, my mama raised me by herself. What are you talking about? How you blaming me for every dude that did you wrong? I wasn't there. I'm only 23. What you talking about?
Now, them the guys that benefit from it now. Like, you got certain guys that's how they catch their prey. We like to call them simps in our world. I tell this woman exactly what she want to hear, and I get what I want, and then we send her back to the street. That's really what it is. And I be trying, but they word is so powerful because a woman loves to be confirmed that she's right. So if she start hearing what she's thinking from a deep male voice, of course she's gonna be attracted to him. So it be a lot of deception going on, but that for every 100 men that like to be totally honest with women, one simp can wipe out 100 of him. I'm telling you, like Derrick Jackson. I was telling people about Derrick Jackson when I heard him for the first time in 2016. I said, y'all, this guy's fraud. 2K, you hating, you don't know what you're talking about. In a successful relationship, I said, bro, there's no way he's a man and can believe everything that he's saying.
Wow.
It just didn't make sense. So, and I would tell him the truth, but one Derrick Jackson, man, he did damage to the world.
Yeah.
He did it.
And it's sad.
It's a bunch. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them out there that be doing that.
What would you say? Who?
You said Steve Harvey?
Absolutely.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard him myself. I only heard one thing that he did. Ace Metaphor, the guy from
Oh my god.
The Night's Conversation.
Yeah.
I heard one thing he did talking about date 'em all, sis. I think we reacted to him. Date 'em all, sis. I was like,
what?
Yes, he's a big like. I know people that's directly connected to him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need the connection, but they confirmed everything that I already knew, and it's not hard to see on him at all. Like,
nah,
yeah, it's not hard to see.
nah. Sheesh, man.
Like, let's keep it honest with these women, because you domo, you really hurting them, bro. You telling them that they can have sexual liberation and then have the husband or the man of their dreams. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. She might can get a good man, but it wouldn't be the one who she thought she was gonna get at first.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
We were just Netflix, man. We were just watching Love is Blind.
Okay.
On Netflix, this current season. I don't remember their name. We'll get a picture.
We actually. Oh, we gonna insert.
Yeah, we're going to insert a picture here. All right. David and Lauren.
Yes.
Taylor. No, Lauren.
Lauren. I think
something like
Lauren.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway, had this beautiful connection and everything in the pods and everything like that or whatever. And come to find out that homegirl was in a not in a relationship. I'm sorry.
Friends with benefits.
She had a friend with benefits like maybe a week before she went on the show. So now when they're out and he gets access to his phone and finding out that it's somebody that he know and his friends know and everything like that. Yeah, exactly. He's like, he was trying to hold on, but he was basically, like he was out, he was done. Yeah. And I'm just like, nobody wants to. Women don't understand that. Yes, it's a double standard, but it has existed since the beginning of time, as far as I know. It is okay, quote unquote, not really okay, but it's more acceptable, I guess I should say, for a dude to be sleeping around because that's what men do, quote unquote.
Yeah. Women are going to like him more if they see that he's desirable to other women.
Women are they're still going to date him, they're still going to marry them and everything like that. But as a woman, men in general, I heard somebody say it earlier today, like men are territorial or what have you. Yeah, I believe that to be true to a certain extent. But it's just like, no guy is going to want to know that his woman, his soon-to-be wife, was just sharing the walls and the axes with each other a week before we met. Like a week before I proposed to you. At that.
A lot happens with that. Like, I found out that you was somebody else trash. Why would I hold you on a podium like you my trophy?
Ouch.
Like, you was letting him get it at a discounted rate.
Right.
Why would I pay full price?
You're right. That's absolutely true.
Like, why? Like, just tell me why. But I get it. But listen, that can be overcome. That can be overcome, as crazy as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
A lot of men get cheated on.
Mm-hmm.
That can be overcome.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it stops. When my friend group find out you cheated, that is when the relationship is over.
That's pretty much what happened to them.
That you can't come back from it, because me and her, we can talk about it and we can work this out.
Mm-hmm.
But go back to respect. Once the guys find out that my girl cheated and I'm still with her, then they now look at me different.
Yep.
It's one thing to be disrespected by your girl, because they will when the doors close. But you can't, you can't have the disrespect going out in the world with you. Right. But you with her, she was. Oh no, bro. Oh no. I'm telling you, I know a bunch of dudes that have been cheated on silently, because that's how it has to happen for the relationship. He got to know, and him only. But the minute the friends find out, it's their relationship over. It's over. Because my friends can't know you a hoe.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
My friends can't know. Not my girl, bro.
Oh man. Actually,
What?
we could pull up the other clip. The 5 levels of submission. I think
The 5 levels of submission. The first level, no submission at all. You don't submit to nobody, no man, no person. That you're not submitting. It's not part of you. Whatever you say goes, that's it. The second level, you only submit when you want something. That's manipulation. When you know you're going to get something from your husband, that's when you submit. But the moment you know you're not going to get nothing out of it, you don't submit. It's out the window. The third level, you submit, but when you get offended, you don't. That's submission with the flesh, not submission with the heart. Because the moment your husband offends you, you switch up. Act like you do, but you really don't. The fourth level of submission, you submit even when you're offended. They'll say something, it offends you, but you still submit. Truly submit from your heart. And that comes to the fifth level. The reason why you truly submit is because you actually love them. Not as your husband, but as a son of God. A love for a husband is not the same for a love for a son of God. A love for a husband is, what can he give me? Does he love me so I can love him? A love for a son of God is, I love you because you're God's creation.
I know my wife like that one.
Hey, that was a no piece right there.
So now you don't have to answer this, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. If you had to rate what level of submission your wife is at?
She just got the 5.
Oh,
It started at 3. Now the first 2, I don't remember the second one, but I know that third one, that was a real problem. That's the one where she'll do what she's supposed to, but when she get mad, she take it off the table. It was optional. Like everything was optional to her.
Okay.
And then started voicing how that made me feel. She moved it up to level 4. And now we just reaching level 5. So now when she mad at me, she'll still do it because it's kind of her duty, it's her obligation to God. Like even when I was out here being boneheaded and messing up, the reason why she didn't retaliate like the rest of the world would tell her was because it would go against what she believed in with God.
Okay.
So we just got the 5, but I don't remember the first step. I don't think that's nothing I ever had to go through, but I know from 3 through 5 we was there. Especially 3. But wow. Man, boy, she'll pull the curtain back off.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, did y'all guys have to? I'm not trying to get in y'all business, but I'm just asking, like, for experience. Like, was it a climbing? Was it a stair step for y'all too, or was it just there?
Well, you the one you would have to say. You would have to say because I know what I think.
Our situation was totally jacked up because I was totally jacked up. I entered this
always are,
man, but I entered this thing blue pill as hell. From New Jersey, I was an artist. I was painting and all that other stuff. I went to art school. I graduated, got my bachelor's in art for some strange reason. I don't know why I did that, but I went. So I was in that world, and it's. I think I heard Kevin Samuel say it a while ago. It's two fields, the arts and sports, where they don't operate like most regular people when it comes to relationships, because their mindsets are so far away from what the average person thinks. That is true. As somebody who went to art school and all of that other stuff, all my friends were artists and stuff like that. Our mindset was so different, bro. I really thought the world was Love Jones, the movie, bro. Like I really was like on some, like, that's what I thought. I'm so serious. Like, that's the mindset that I was in. My father was not like that at all. My father was way more traditional, way hard, but my dad was out. He worked 32 hours a day. I never really saw him much when I was young. I was raised primarily by my mom. My dad, he provided like crazy. He had his own business, so I didn't really get the influence from him that probably would have balanced me out more. So between art school and then my mom was my main person raising me, I was crazy blue pill. So when I came into our relationship, I was like, yeah, we're going to be partners and, we're going to do this together. It's going to be 100% 50-50. And we're not, there is no leader. And there is no leader. We're all, we're all feminists. I called myself a feminist before. I really did. Mind you, I'm doing all of that while going to church, reading the Bible that says the exact opposite of everything that I'm talking about. The Bible don't say none of that. And so for me, we got married. I was in that space. The good thing is she fell in love with me, who I am as a person. So
Right.
I was going through all of these crazy changes that were radically different as far as how I looked at relationships, how I looked at life, how I looked at working. Everything was different. Like I went from being in church and being an artist and being real blue pill and thinking that everything was about equality, which is like anti-Bible almost. I went from there to leaving the church, and then I got red pilled, and then I came back. I'm not going to say to the church because I'm not really going to a church, but like reading the Bible, really trying to figure things out, solidify my relationship with God. And now that I'm back there, I read every day. I'm studying every day. I'm studying relationships and I'm studying the Bible, and I'm more even. I'm not red pill. I'm not blue pill.
That's not a bad thing because with the society that we're growing up in, I wouldn't want to be my granddad growing up in this society.
Okay.
And we can't be Love Jones because we'll get ran over. So you got to have like some even keel. Right. So that is dope. That's how you experienced it. Like, but I experienced it coming. Oh, it was always meshed. But you had to go completely hot, then completely cold, and bring it back together.
Yep.
Yeah, so like it's dope, but you still got here. And I think the reason why you got here is because of your wife. Like because it's just certain stuff that we, as much as a woman say we partners on partner. Come on, my wife tried that partner stuff. I was like, hey, you don't want no partner. If you want a partnership, here go half. Take care of it. No, baby, you with me because you want leadership. You want a superior that makes life easier for you, and that's what I want to do for you. So she started easing up off of some of these terms, and I started realizing that I don't have to be super red pill.
Yeah.
So we had to find that balance, and that was kind of some hard work too because my wife was super independent when I first met her. And boy, like, so the more independent she was, like, the more leeway I give her, like, so she could chirp. So once she when I started paying everything, I was like, babe, listen, you got to ease a little bit of that down, because like you got to come on, you got to bring that down a little bit, babe. I can't be doing all this and still hearing this. Like, she'll still give it to me now, but she didn't learn how to like to start picking battles with me, like even more and in better spots.
That's the key.
Because hard work though.
Yeah. So I never actually answered the question, right? No, she's definitely, I would say level 5 for sure. But the reason I went through the whole story is because for the longest, I didn't even realize that she the whole time wanted that type of setup.
Right.
Because we in Jersey, like
to be honest, I didn't realize that at first.
Okay, well there you go.
Like it was in me, and like I don't even know how to say it. Like I knew that's what I wanted, but I didn't know that that's what I wanted.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I just assumed that it would come, I guess, or that it would happen like that, because I guess
society dictate what you thought you wanted. But when real life kick in, you found out, okay, now this is what I need.
But see, I don't think, because I don't ever remember us having a conversation about like partnership.
No, we
naturally fell into a rhythm.
No, but really was Love Jones though. Like that's just how we acted in the beginning.
Yeah, I was never like, oh, I want a partner, this, that, and the third. I've always wanted to be taken care of.
Mm.
Like I always wanted a leader,
Mm.
but I never, when I said like I always knew it, I didn't voice it, I guess I should say. Like it wasn't a conversation that we had, but that's always what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she definitely just sort of smoothly. And I've seen it sometimes. Like I've seen it sometimes where we'll be having a conversation and I'll be like, nah, baby, it need to be this. Like it do. And she don't want to. Yeah. I've literally seen her just be like, I've seen her take the big gulp and just like, and I can see in the back of her mind, she be like, all right, Jesus, this is because he did not just cut the conversation without explaining it to me. No, he did it. And she'll just take it. She'll be like, okay.
Yeah. And trust me, we believe in like when y'all giving us advice, I promise you, we listening. Even if we look like we annoying you we are listening. We are hearing what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But the reason why we be so hard on our decision and that final decision is because if this relationship ends with anything financial, the majority, 100% of the blame will be with him. You will get the scapegoat back into society with no blame at all. Even if you took the money out the account and spent it on what you thought it would made, they still would blame him. So that final decision, I'm firm on it. But I do listen to my wife for counsel. I do hear her out, and I just try to plan with that in mind. But like I'm definitely want to die with the final decision because I'm fine if my wife leave me for not providing because I couldn't fulfill my duty. I get it. I would sign them papers gratefully and wish and give her well wishes. I'm sorry that I couldn't fulfill my duty as a husband. You have your right to walk. That's how I feel. But in order for me to feel like that, I got to be able to make them decisions to let me know that I gave it all I can. I just got it wrong.
Right. Bro, y'all are on a great trajectory, bro. Your mindset towards this thing. I'm like, you look
we have hiccups now. Like, I'm gonna have to get her to come on with me because, like, we still young, we still petty, we still argue about stuff. Like, trust me, like you'll hear when we start talking. I just know how and where we going.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier with her, but trust me, we still have knockdown petty moments.
Well, listen, that's all right because you were two individual people that combined yourself into one. So it's going to be like that from time to time. But as long as you guys have that mindset, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. We were really fortunate. I think I was the one thing I did get right because I got a lot of stuff wrong when I was young, as a lot of people do. But one thing I did get right is I picked somebody that I would be able to grow with. But we also don't really have like arguments or knocked out. Like we don't really have that stuff. Like as far as like a real disagreement, like you're talking like once a year type of thing. It's just like we just like I don't know why we just sort of mesh a certain way. And I know everybody doesn't get that, and it's good to see somebody like you be like, look, we still be going at it, but you know what I'm saying. But I love her big old head, like that's like that type of relationship. You know what I'm saying. A lot of people experience that, and that can work as long as you have the mentality that you have behind it is the thing that's gonna push you through. And I remember last time you were like, yo, I fell in love with this woman on 4 different occasions. Stuff like that is dope, bro. You know what I'm saying.
We had some passionate talks. Like well, we have them, bro. Well, we have them. But they let me know the louder she screamed, the more she cared. And if I'm screaming back, that means I care too. Okay. So we just got to find some middle ground.
Right.
Just try, like, because you can look at a cup. I look at the cup half full. If we yelling at each other, I'm not gonna look at that, man. Well, this divorce right here is over. I'm looking at it like she trying super hard to come to a conclusion, and I am. So it's really about how you look at stuff. I'm real big on perspective, very big on perspective, because I feel like they can always get you to the next level, no matter if you fall or you fly.
Yeah. Okay.
True.
Anything you wanted to talk about, Roach?
I'm trying to think. There was something that we talked about in our last conversation that I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
And I didn't write it down.
That means it didn't happen.
Look, we doing better. We trying to write stuff down so we don't forget nowadays. It was you were saying we were talking about the Bible.
Okay.
You made mention because we were talking about the Old and the New Testament and basically Jesus coming back and kind of, I don't remember exactly where it went. I don't want to say doing away.
Fixing a mistake.
Yeah, fixing a mistake, I think is what you said. Fixing
the first version.
Right.
Right.
So I was like, oh man, that's something that we should have circled back to, because I know that we both had things on our minds that we wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
So when Jesus came, basically when he came to earth, and he came to fulfill the law, he did not come to do away with his law. Christ's law has been established since the beginning of the time, and it still exists. He didn't do away with anything.
Right.
He came back, he lived a certain way to show us how we should live, especially when it comes to women. And I say that right now just because we've been having a conversation about like red pill, blue pill, and how women are being viewed and treated and stuff like that, and how they were back in those days, in the Bible days. It was just like, it was diabolical the way women were treated.
Absolutely.
And Jesus came to set the record straight. He's like, yo, y'all don't understand. Like, I gave you this law, but you're not understanding the spirit of the law. What it meant. You're over here. You're like, you're beating people, what have you? Like you're treating women like they're second class citizens, stuff like that. And that is not at all what Christ had in mind when he had order basically set up. But because of us and our nature being sinful, of course, we always want to take things and go way left. Well, that was my right, but you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Way left with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not him coming to fix something that he did wrong, a mistake. He was coming to correct the people because they were just taking things too far.
Okay. And with that being said, that means that Jesus should be making another trip, because I think you got it wrong again.
We still jacked up. We ain't learned our lesson.
Listen, so I think he came down here like, hey, I got to chill out the women, but now he got to come down here and have a talk with the women. Like I think he do for another visit.
You should come back now.
Hey, I know you see this. He was saying the stuff that you gave him, bro. They said it. But in all seriousness, like, I think I heard Anton allude to something today after we was having a conversation that brought me back to what we was talking about. I was like, oh wow, okay, that was kind of interesting. So although I might not be a believer, like I'm willing to analyze the point and then know when I was wrong. And I think that I kind of got that one wrong. So so point taken.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like you being worked on. And I feel like you being worked on. And the reason I say that, and I'm saying that not just because of what's happening and things you're telling us, but because of what I went through just a few short years ago, and how the process is happening. I actually literally just watched a video today, and the guy asked, he was like, yo, if I'm the type of person who wants to believe and I want to understand, why wouldn't God reveal himself to me? I've been looking, I went to church, all these people around me having experiences. How come I ain't had no experience? How come it's not real to me? And all of that other stuff. And he was like, I don't understand why, knowing that that I'm available and I'm ready. I'm like, yo, let me in on the plan, man. What's up? Whatever you want, I'm here. All you got to do is reveal yourself to me so that I can believe. And the guy he was talking to, he was like, you might think you're ready, but you might not really be ready. Or you might be being allowed to build up, because when you are ready, when you're converted, the effect that you will be able to have on so many people that you would not have been able to come across
if you ain't go through
if
that.
you didn't go through what I'm putting you through. And the thing it made me think of is, if you're a believer, the mentality is we play checkers, God plays chess.
Yeah.
When we think about, did you see the movie? What was the one? The Avengers movie after Infinity War, the last one. Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Did you see that?
I seen a little bit of it. I'm just now getting into it, so I'm on my No Way Home.
Oh man.
Late. My wife been trying to put me on it forever.
Do you care about spoilers or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay.
So I know I'm dead. They got snapped away or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So when they did that, Mr. What was the name? Oh, Doctor Strange, the magician guy. He went and he when they were about to give the last Infinity Stone to Thanos, right? And they stopped him. They was like, "No, we're not gonna let you get the stone and stuff." And Thanos was like, "If you don't give me the stone, I'm gonna kill Iron Man." Doctor Strange goes and gives him the stone, and Iron Man is looking at this dude like, "What the heck is wrong, bro? Let me die! Like, what are you talking about? We talking about like 4 billion people, not just for me." And Doctor Strange goes, "Trust me, it has to be this way. I've seen it." Then Thanos goes, snaps his finger. 3.5, 4 billion people die. Hawkeye done lost his whole family. All of these Spider-Man dead. You know, all of these people passed away. All of these things happened. All of these Avengers had certain people in the Avengers. I'm not going to give you all the spoilers, but certain people in the Avengers died permanently. They ain't coming back. They gone. They had to die. All of this stuff happened. And the thing is, with all of this horrible things happen, at the end of it, this was literally the only way out of billions of possibilities. Dr. Strange said this was the only way that we would have ever been able to defeat him. And I think the mentality that a lot of people need to understand, if you're a believer, because if you're not a believer, you're not going to see it. But if you're a believer, the mentality is the things that I'm going through are orchestrated in a way with so many different pathways. You're talking about billions of possibilities, not the 200-300 that we can see. Billions of possibilities. And a lot of times that's where the faith comes in if you're a believer, because we don't see what God sees. If he sees the beginning from the end, he might have to allow this person to die. You know what I'm saying? Right now. But the thing is, you don't know. He might have to give up the Infinity Stone. In order to bring everybody back in the end. And I think that's one of the issues that a lot of people have with it. And that's one of the issues I had with it.
I go back to this one point. I think I told you about it last time. And this pastor told me, he said, whether you know it or not, you got one of the best Bible studies around. And when he told me that, I really didn't understand, but now I get it. When I tell people I don't believe and they fire back at me, and then I quote a couple Bible verses because I know a lot, that make them go get in their Bible. That and when I was super vocal about me being an atheist, that made a lot of people dive into their Bible. So whether I know it or not, I'm kind of doing the work of, I'm just not a worker, but I'm doing the work. Like if I tell you I don't believe in God, now you got to go in your Bible just to prove to me he is real. I have successfully converted somebody to make them get in their Bible a little harder. So maybe that was my purpose. I mean, he working mysterious ways.
Maybe, man.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm not, like I said the first time, I'm not disrespectful. I don't want to be to religion and nothing like that. I just want to, state my piece and leave it alone. I don't want to convert nobody. I don't want you to stop believing because I don't got nothing for you to believe in after I take that from you. So I hate I ever did that, but whatever. I'm be here now.
Right.
Yeah, I know the weakness of that now. So I'm not here to be taking people hope. And that's why I kind of leave it at. But my grandma say what y'all say. well, you're gonna be a pastor. Hey.
I mean,
who was the one that was crucifying Christians? Was it Paul or Peter?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Paul was going around taking Christians out.
Yeah.
And then y'all turn around and write 2/3 of the New Testament. You tell me how that worked out.
You never know.
So you never know what it's going to be. But I guess for me it was just interesting to talk to you because it's something that I lived not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the things you were saying, I was like, oh man, I was asking that same question. You know what I'm saying? So I can relate to a lot of the things that you were talking about and stuff mm-hmm. like that. So I just felt that was a very interesting path. Do you think that this would be a better United States if they was Christian, even if it was fake Christian, because there's a lot of fake Christian. If the nation really was Christian like they used to be, do you think it would be better or worse for relationships?
For relationships, I feel like it'll be a better United States if most people were under Islam. I know that sounds crazy.
Okay.
Because they give a lot of room for what the average man go through, like more than one wife. It's kind of strict. Like the covering of the woman. I feel like society could benefit off of that because being a Christian is loose and you get to forgive. And I can, be an adulterer, but ask for the forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And it'd be cool. Because that, to be honest, that's what's running the United States right now. Christianity and a lot of repenting going on. But like getting right back into the setting when they done repenting. So I feel like we'll thrive better under Islam because it leaves room for that aspect. I think 80% of what kill marriage is what that'll take away. A lot of that'll be taken away if if people converted to Islam because I can have 2 wives. As long as I can take care. I know that ain't what you want to hear.
No. Just interesting.
No. I did not expect you to. There was no real right answer there. So I was just sort of picking your brain about it.
That's what I think. If we had to pick a religion for the United States that'll have everything thriving, I think it will be Islam. Just because of that.
Okay. Well, we're just talking about relationships anyway. So okay. So then my second follow-up question, it might be the same answer.
Okay.
What if it were real Christianity versus Islam? Because I said even if it was fake Christianity, which is more understandable. What if it was real Christianity?
If it was real Christianity, I think it'll still be messed up. I think a lot of dudes will be getting rocks thrown at them because, in real Christianity, when they was writing the Bible, like people wasn't conquering. What's this word I'm looking? People still couldn't beat these urges to cheat. Like even back then, they had infidelity.
Right.
That was a problem back then. And then, so it'll kind of still be prevalent today, but it'll be stoned in the street. But if everything else was Christian, I think we got a better place.
Okay.
So you're thinking about back in the day where they would kill you on sight for adultery.
Absolutely. I think it'll be bad in the sense of that.
No, not that. When he say real Christianity, we're talking about after Christ came, basically.
Okay.
After he done said, "Let he who has the first sin throw the first stone."
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Because that'd be crazy. But no, as far as like the infidelity aspect of it, though, with that, what you were saying, I mean, that's something that was allowed in Christianity, but it wasn't necessarily something that was promoted. And the reason why I say allowed is because I'm thinking about, well, at least my thought, it was allowed for like kings, who had like they had a whole bunch of wives and concubines like that, or what have you, because they can take care, provide for them. It was understandable, I guess, at that point, but it wasn't advised. I know that that's definitely not something that was advised.
Yeah, because like the majority of the wars that's ever been fought in society probably can be traced back to having something to do with dealing with a woman.
Bruh.
Like literally. I mean, if you take that away, like we ain't got half of the world conflicts. And so I think like, okay, I'm gonna marry this woman here, these two minds, they got it from some union. And then I think the world would just be a better place, a more peaceful place if it was more understanding. Cause I think a lot of everything surrounding like jealousy come from it, hate come from it. Like, it just, I don't know, the woman is so powerful. Y'all powerful, G. Y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Cuz.
That might be the reason that y'all don't know. That might be the reason they don't know. Because
I'll try to keep that from them too.
Yeah.
If I hadn't hired anything, like, but when the woman find out, like, because the reason why it ain't no good, a lot of good men is because that ain't what the women been requiring. Y'all like the bad boys initially. If the requirement is to be, in order for you to have the baddies, you got to have a bachelor's degree. You have to be a good human, no criminal record. I guarantee you, the focus will change immediately. Oh no, bro, I can't get under my background, bro. I'm not finna go do that. I gotta get into this college because a good girl come at the end of all this. We do everything for y'all. The reason why you got all these bad boys, because we want the attention of the woman. That's the glory to us.
Yep.
I ran off with the pretty girl in the sunset.
Yep. Yeah, man. A lot of them don't. Well, thankfully they don't. I don't even know. It's crazy to think that because when I was thinking about, like, even from a Christian perspective, you just made me think when you said that. I used to always make this joke about Adam sitting there and seeing Eve walking up to him with the apple, and she ain't got no clothes on.
With the fruit.
Oh, with the fruit, excuse me. She walking up to him with the fruit, and she ain't got no clothes on, and she's switching extra because she know she in trouble. She know, and she's trying to find somebody so she can, be like, look, babe, I done did this thing. So she's switching extra hard. Really? And I'm just like, I feel like she didn't even say nothing. I feel like he didn't even say nothing. I feel like he looked at her, he knew, he looked up and down, and he just took it and he ate it. That was the joke It was a joke. It was a joke.
You know what, though? It makes sense. And that, I feel like that's why women don't never like to pick nothing out to eat. Because the first time they had to pick something to eat, they messed up the whole world, bro.
That's what
they can't tell you what they want to eat, bro.
Yo, tell me, why is that? What? Yeah, that happens. Like you would say that it's just a crazy stereotype. But even when we all, me, you, and the kids, if we go into McDonald's, bro, we've been to this place hundreds of times before, and you and the girl, the two of y'all, it done got to. I don't even go to the drive-thru no more. Like, nah, we just gonna go inside.
Don't be bad. It just depends.
Yeah.
See, it always just depends. Oh my God.
It depends on what I'm in the mood for.
So wait, what's your go-to mad meal? You mad and you got to eat food. What are we eating? What that look like?
If I'm mad, I don't.
Some hot wings, I guess. What's in the mood for to eat?
I have a go-to meal when I'm mad. I just have like things I'm in the mood to eat. I do realize though, when I'm stressed, I want chocolate.
True.
Yeah. If I'm stressed out, it's almost like I need chocolate. Yeah, like I feel like a fiend, like for real. Like I need like some chocolate chip cookies and some milk or ice cream or something, but I need
Symphony
chocolate.
Bar.
Yeah. Symphony,
yeah. Yeah.
But like, yeah. I mean, I have favorites, like favorite foods that I can eat just about any time. Like I love Mexican food. I love Caribbean food
Okay.
and stuff like that. So those are like my go-tos, but that's not like fast food.
No.
You know what I mean? So that's the issue. The issue is I'm not a fast food person.
That's true.
So that's what it is. It's like I don't typically like fast food.
Yeah, that guy needs upbringing, bro.
So many arguments have been started in this house about what do you want to eat? Oh my God, bro. That is definitely top 3.
Wow. Man, I just gave up. I don't even, I don't have an opinion. I just like, look, whatever you make, whatever you want to pick up, just
I know I'm on the right path there. Because
I'm gonna just eat it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just make it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but next time I come on, I'm gonna try to convince my wife to get on camera with me.
Yeah,
okay, that'd be dope, man.
We'd love to have her and meet her.
Yeah. It's safe out here, bro. We
don't do no stone.
Man, stone throwing.
Yeah.
This is not a Anton Daniels and Q panel, bro. It's not like that. We ain't got no chat going crazy, bro. Yo, the chat. Yeah.
Go.
Yo, they go hard. They go hard.
Chat be chatting.
Yes, they do. Yes,
sure.
They do. Yeah. So I do have one more topic, but I don't know.
What's up? Let's go for
it. Okay. We can pull up one of the other ones that I have.
Ladies, the ultimate disrespect to a man is to allow somebody else's voice to have more power than his voice.
Yeah.
That's cheating to a man. If somebody else's voice carries more weight than another man's voice, to him, you just got into bed with another man.
Yeah.
He really feels like that. Right? Why is that? Because it's our assignment to be leaders and have influence and visionaries. So at that point, when somebody else's voice carries more weight than our voice, we feel second, third, fourth. It's a blow to the ego. It's a blow to mankind, period. And he's saying, she don't love me. We equate love with respect. We equate love with honor. So if you dishonor my voice and you elevate somebody else's voice, this means you don't love me. The preacher's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice.
Yeah.
Your daddy's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice.
Yeah.
Your therapist's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice. If you want a war, if you want to fight, if you want something that can get infected that will never produce fruit, allow somebody else's voice to be stronger than his.
Okay. Interesting.
3 people instantly came to mind when I was watching it.
Okay.
He said the preacher, the daddy, and the boss. The only one I'm willing to override me is her daddy. Because he got it to me. And I value his opinion as well.
Right.
So I take a lot of guidance and mentorship from him because he made the woman that I love. Right. So they got to mean something.
Yeah.
I feel like the preacher is the reason why a lot of men ain't in church. Because listen.
Well,
yep.
Man. I ain't saying that he have to be, involved with her in no type of malicious way. But I feel like they words be a little bit too strong in the heads of my woman. In the boss. Be here at 8, you can leave at 5. How long, boy? This is my woman. Boy, what do you mean? Yeah, hey, now. I'll put it at 2 weeks. I don't like you giving, and that's, I think that's the territorial in us right there. Like, because I'm willing, I have signed the dotted line to die for you. I feel like should nobody override me. And I got into it with this about my wife. She was calling the police, and I'm trying to check on her whereabouts. but she won't click over because she's talking to the police.
Mm.
I'm like, no, no. And police ain't gonna do nothing but come over here and file a report.
Mm.
I'm gonna die for you. You click over when I call.
Mm.
And it was stupid, but it was me being territorial. I meant that. I meant every word.
I could tell.
I don't want nobody having like more authority over my woman than me or her father.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my only exception. Her father. I agree wholeheartedly with what that man said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I found it interesting. I guess it's because of the type of content that I assume that I'm finding, because I'm finding these preachers online, these pastors and ministers, they sit up here talking about relationships, but they're talking about it from a different perspective.
Really point of view.
Yeah, like I'm used to hearing a very feminist minded type of girl, you know that you're this and you're that and da 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 da, and men, you need to treat them like this. And it's odd to hear guys being like, let me tell y'all what it really is. This is not, and I guess it's because of the algorithm, I guess, but
no, he just going through it at the house.
Mm.
You know how many pastors get that off? Listen, we're gonna do a whole chapter about what I'm really going through.
You might be right about that.
Yeah, probably.
It's an easier conversation to have. Something I'm passionate about. I can get into this word and I teach, and I get it.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure he was up there dropping little hints for his wife, though. The first like,
tapping on the leg, like
in the back, getting to tell she's.
Oh man, that's crazy. Did you have any thoughts about that from a woman's perspective? Was it eye-opening, or are you like, duh?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, well, to be honest, I kind of feel the same way.
Okay.
Like, I don't feel as though any person's voice should be higher than mine when it comes to you.
Okay.
Like, and just about anything, I was kind of laughing to myself when you were talking about the whole on the phone and the other line type thing, like not clicking over, because I don't think I would feel the same way. I'm like, who you on the phone with? I was calling you. Why didn't you click over? Like, because I take precedent, like I don't care who else is on the phone.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do. Because like if it was like mom or dad or something like that, that's different.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
I feel you on that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand from a respect point, and like you said earlier, the Bible, it tells us how we ought to basically be with one another as husband and wife to make the marriage work. Wives are to respect their husbands, and husbands are to love their wives, because that's what we individually need.
Right.
So if that is something where your husband feels very strongly about, then that's something that you should do, because you do want to make sure that you're respecting him, that you're showing him that respect, that is something that is important to him.
Right.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
Sometimes as like I get like man guilt.
Okay.
So like I just told my wife, "Hey, I'm hungry. Can you get up and cook some food?" And sometimes like I be feeling kind of guilty because like I feel like she there for me. Like when I just, hey babe, she's so much at my disposal that I kind of feel guilty for having like that much access, that much control. But it's like, should I? Like, cause anything I ask her to do, I feel like she will do it. But like, is there like, I feel guilty for that sometimes. Like, am I being too controlling? Is that like me overly dominating, or is it where it's supposed to be like that?
I personally wouldn't think that that's overly dominating or anything, unless she would have voiced to you that there was some type of issue where she maybe was feeling less than or something. But if she's not saying anything like that, if she's like, I got you, babe, like whatever, like that means y'all just working, not clicking. You know what I'm saying? If she doesn't have an issue, because I think one of the things that we got into earlier in this conversation, like we started diving into certain subjects, and like, I'll ask the question thinking that I'm going to get like sort of a surface answer, and then we'll go a layer or two below it. That's one of those things where it's like, yo, even though I believe firmly that men are supposed to be the heads of the household and that the women are supposed to follow the man. And then, of course, we understand that if the man is wise and if you chose properly, you should be able to take counsel from your woman. She should be able to see things that you can't see. Y'all bring that all together and make the best decision for the household with the man as the head.
Yeah.
I also understand that, like, there's variation in the way that's going to look from couple to couple. Like, it's going to look different for me coming from blue pill to go to red pill to come back to the center. You know what I'm saying? And there has to be space allowed for people to grow, to change, to feel differently, to have different perspectives, to, to come across something that may make them think differently. There has to be enough room in a relationship where y'all can be able to have that conversation and see what that looks like so that nobody's stepping into anybody else's territory.
Right.
And
okay. Because I did used to feel real guilty about it. Because she said, like, sometimes I'm like a drill sergeant because I just be wanting like little structure. Like, I feel, and I be trying to get her the structure so it can make her life better, but it kind of comes off as like demanding sometimes. And like I used to feel guilty about it, but eventually she always caught on and it worked. But like in that moment, it's like, damn, I'm being an asshole.
But I can't now, but how you ask her? Do you ask her or do you tell her? Because there's a difference.
I just believe in saying it.
Okay.
So I'm not no sugarcoat.
So it's how you say it. Because we had this issue.
Lord.
We first got married.
Oh my gosh. Bruh.
Because I understand that men communicate differently than women. I get that. I ain't got no problems with that. However, when you communicating with your wife, remember, you got to love your wife. You got to show love to your wife, okay? You can't talk to her like she is on the street. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to package that in a way where she's going to be able to receive it and she can hear it. But if you just come off like you just talking to your homeboy, you talking to some random person on the street, she going to give you some pushback or be looking at you out the side of her eye like.
I think that too, but y'all don't be caring how that Fashion Nova package come to the door. That box can be wrinkly.
Well, okay.
As long as that I get in there secure, y'all all right with it. But I get it. I get it though.
I would say we did have that conversation early on in our relationship.
Real
and yeah, it made a difference. So I put it like this. I became results oriented. And it became more important for me to get the result from her that I wanted than for me to say it the way that I wanted to say it. So it just became, if I talk to you like this, I'm gonna still get what I want, but you're gonna do it with a smile. As opposed to I could do it like this and I'm gonna get what I want, but you're gonna be feeling stank about it. And it's just it depends on how much. I mean, it depends on the relationship because some women will like that. Some gonna get turned on with that. Some other women, not so much. I do think that you have to learn to speak to somebody, and I think just like anything else, like it's like a muscle. Like you'll get to the point where it just becomes normal for you to talk to somebody like that, like this. Yeah. But I'm gonna ask you a question though.
Okay.
How long were you in the military, if you don't mind sharing that?
Oh, well, 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I grew up with a military dad.
Yeah.
And I know what that might look like.
I'm not that. I can assure you
that. Okay.
I'm not that. I just believe in. Now, this is probably the most military I am because I went in with what they was teaching, like the values and the morals. I had that already coming in. They taught me time management.
That's what I was just thinking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Time management. There's nothing you can't do in one day.
Okay.
They taught me backwards planning, and so trying to explain backwards planning to a civilian, it might seem a little Jurassic. Like, hey, you got to get some accomplished at 10. You don't wake up at 9 to do it.
Right.
Kind of start today at 7.
Right.
Start working on it at 8. Be done at 9.
Right.
And at 10, you resting.
Right.
So just like I thought my drill sergeant was crazy, she probably looking at me the same way.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why we up at 4 in the morning and we don't start PT till 6? Like, I get it now though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's bringing structure though. Like that's low key. That's sort of just
what men do though.
yeah. I would say that's just sort of you taking your place as the man of the house. Like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to provide that structure. Like that's why the stats look like they do when they talk about single mom households versus single dad households.
The modern woman though, that looks crazy.
Yeah, man.
Oh my, that looks crazy to a
Yeah,
mom.
man. Yeah,
And I promise you, this structure is here to benefit you because
yeah.
you're gonna be the one doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked crazy trying to tell a woman who been independent all her life and been doing it how she been doing it, how to do and when to do.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy work.
Yeah. Low key, that's one of the reasons why, even though I know the marriage rates are not the best for that age group, I still believe that in order to have the most amount of peace in your house when it comes to people coming together, I don't think it's the best idea to wait until after 30 to get married or to be with that one person. I don't think. And the funny thing is, we just recently did it. We looked up the stats and I was shocked. Like the best is approximately to get married between like 28 and 32 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
They have the best statistics for staying together, not getting divorced. People who get married in that.
If we get married from 28 to 32,
yeah,
you better been good from 20 to 27. I mean, your track record better be minimum. Like you was, because man.
Yeah, I don't know. It was shocking to me when I saw it. Because I was like, really? I didn't. And then also it was a little shocking as well that people who have at least a bachelor's degree and people who don't even have a
GED,
people who don't have a GED or a high school diploma have the best marriage rates for staying together as well.
Oh wow.
So it's like literally it's like bachelor's or you didn't even graduate college. High school.
That speaks to opposite attract.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy, bro.
I was like, what? That didn't make any sense to me.
It don't.
But that is the best. And I think for that very reason, like we found all of the reasons in the world why waiting to get married is a bad idea. Trust me, we found all of the reasons in the world why we didn't think that was the best.
Yeah. I think it's not really waiting, but if you're not a virgin,
right,
it kind of becomes obsolete.
Yeah,
because like if you a virgin, like and you want to experience this dude, then there's nothing else that you need to worry about. This is just what sex is to you. But if you didn't have a variation of different sides and different people, you think it what's more out there to try.
Right. Right.
And like it kind of like, this is kind of null and void at this point.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the pair bonding stats?
I'm not.
All right. So we read a study. This was a while ago. So I have to recheck it because it seemed like this stuff changed like every 2 years. But we checked the stat and it was saying that for women, after they have 5 partners, so 5 or more, that their ability to be happy in the relationship drops by 80%.
Absolutely. I have heard this stat. Yeah.
Here's the kicker. On the men's side, we got 7. So it's still very close. Yeah. On the men's side, it's the same study.
That makes sense. The most of the dudes who I know that I ain't married, that's my friends, they aren't in relationships on commitment issues because of what they have done to other women. Like they refuse to be that dude who was blowing up the phone when he was smashing his girl. Like they refuse to be that emotional invested dude, bro.
Right.
And it comes out of pure fear of what they have done to other people.
Yeah, they're afraid of that coming back.
Yeah. And these guys, I can guarantee you, they will not get married. Yeah. So that now that you say that, and these guys clean over 7, like it makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Dang.
Listen, these nursing homes in the next 50 years.
Yeah, somebody said invest in nursing homes.
It's gonna be a lot of them. They're gonna be full.
It is.
Because a lot of people, they're choosing, because people want to be together,
Yeah,
but they're not doing the things that they need to do so that they can be together.
because it's not easy. It's hard.
Is this gonna be a time where we could put the great grannies over the grandmas? Because like grandmas, like they ain't nothing no more. Like,
you said we could put the great grannies over grandmas?
yeah, because like, okay, so my mama, I wouldn't consider her to be nowhere close to what my grandma was.
Okay.
I like we could go over there for days at a time. She'll come pick us up. And my grandma didn't go out like just to get ice cream. My mama don't do that, which is my kid's grandma. So I think by the time my kids have kids,
Okay.
she'll be a good great grandma.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
So like, yeah, cause it's crazy. Like grandmas are not the same. And I feel like that was like a central piece in the household. Like I wish I can move my mother-in-law and my father-in-law in-house full time. I have tried to so many times. Listen, I don't because they just bring a calmness to the house. Like I don't know what, like when they hear it, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. But they got other grandkids, so we can't really.
You can't kidnap them.
Yeah. I really wish I could though. I don't know what it is, but I feel calmer because they here. Like I don't know. I think a elder should always be in house. Just for wisdom alone. Yeah. So
that's why a lot of gotten away from our culture, but like in certain tribes in Africa and a lot of Indians and things of that nature, when their parents get of a certain age, their parents come and live with them.
Yeah, I would live it.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense because there, like you said, there's a lot of wisdom, you know, that can be passed down.
Yeah.
And then not for nothing, you got like a built-in support system as well, you know what I'm saying, to help you with the kids, but also to help you like mentally be able to see different things with, you know, within your relationship and your marriage. I do think it should happen later though. Definitely not in the beginning.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to believe and cleave. You got to build.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but yeah, definitely later on. I think it would definitely be. I think it would be good to be able to have that.
I read a book. Now I'm not a book reader, but I read this book long ago. Like I think I was in like elementary, middle school. It's called "Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry." Y'all ever read?
It sounds very familiar. What is
it? It's like a not a slavery movie, but not a movie, but it's like I don't know if it was. I don't really know the timeline, but they still talk like yes, a master type stuff.
Okay.
And like they had like 3 generations in one house. And like the dynamics in the book, like you could tell like it was clear. Like how like it was a whole system. Like, but it was so dope. And I yearn for that. Like I wish like, but my grandma, she had a stroke and right now she in hospice. Oh, yeah, it's okay. She lived a great life. It ain't nothing to be sad about.
Okay.
Like I just wish like that my kids can experience the grandma I had.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's dope though.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that we were able to. My kids, they still have all of their grandparents.
Yeah.
Which is great, and
they're
able to be around them and stuff like that, which is great. I didn't really have any of my grandparents, which was crazy.
Me neither.
But I also had older parents. Like my parents was born in the 40s. So
yeah. Okay.
It was way different. So, but
my mom had me when she was 16.
Oh wow.
It was the baby raising the baby, but like her core values was good, but you know she made mistakes. But my grandma was there.
Okay.
She caught a lot of them, but it's cool. Shout out to my moms too, man.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna cap. I'm getting hungry, and you know how I get when I get hungry.
I bet put that text in. I bet.
I order.
Put that one in.
Oh shoot! So once again, man, it was great having you up here for the conversation.
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to doing it again. I would love it, of course, if you could get your wife on. That'd be an amazing thing to chop it up with y'all or whatever. We could talk about anything. Like if you ever have anything on your mind, relationships wise or anything. I mean, you could always bring something to the platform. We could talk about it. Absolutely, bro. Once again, I'm gonna say shout out to 2K. Everybody clap it up. We're gonna do it in person. Yo, we appreciate you, man. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't want nothing but the best for you and your family, man.
Yes.
I can't wait to do it again with y'all, man. Y'all take care.
Absolutely, man. Peace out. Everybody say bye to 2K, man. All right, bro. Later.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.